observation is success in this kind of an exercise has less to do with courage than it does with capability. We have a program that we do with small businesses, people who are in charge of strategy and management, and we do some looking at trends and figuring out where the opportunities are for them. But then we have a follow-along program that runs for 6 months or 12 months with them. So we get to see how some of this actually shakes out and what the results of this are over periods of time. And I become absolutely convinced that this has more to do with the courage to actually do different things than it does with any innate capability that folks have inside their businesses. There is nobody in this room who isn't capable of being one of the people who thrive over the course of the turbulent markets of the next year or so. I have learned that winning is actually not about creating brilliant new ideas. Winning in the marketplace has more to do with figuring out brilliant ways to execute good ideas. We don't need brilliant ideas. We need brilliant execution of good ideas.
See, I think organizations have personalities just like people do. And the way we actually operate, what we're really like to deal with on a day-to-day basis, is de facto becoming our brand. And it shows in all sorts of ways. We've all seen these in airports, these luggage sizer things full of weights and measurements and kind of stuff. This is Singapore Airport, as you would expect. They're very detailed in theirs. I'm in Coolangatta on one of Virgin's sub-airlines. Here's the pictures I took as we went around the corners in their lineup, because I thought you might like these. You can have a huge ego, but only a bag this size. Simplification gets hot. One of the macro trends we're seeing in business is, what's it like dealing with you? I know the insurance guys are looking at the one on the left going, how did they get it that simple? The lawyers are looking at the one on the right going, how could you bill for that? Here's a magazine after the Oprah's O magazine, most successful magazine launch of the last decade. This is called Real Simple. This is a magazine that's dedicated to helping you simplify every aspect of your life. It's a magazine that's not about anything except how to simplify everything else. The reality is every component element of our life has become so bloody complicated. Anybody who can simplify the process of doing business with them earns not only my loyalty, but my love. The reality is the rich don't bury the poor, the creative bury the stagnant. The smart don't beat the dumb, the flexible beat the rigid. The strong don't crush the weak, the agile outperform the habitual. This has always been true in business. It's just more truer now than it has been.
I think yesterday we kept our customers because they knew us. Tomorrow we will keep them because we know them.
The wonderful Danish proverb. That's Warren's summary of the banking crisis. I thought you might enjoy this. This is a definition of wealth from H.L. Mencken 100 years ago. Wealth is any income 10% greater than one's wife's sister's husband's income. You cannot save your way out of a recession. You can only invest your way out of a recession. And we all know this. You're business people. There are going to be two kinds of folks in this marketplace. Those that pull the blankets over their head and wait till the coast is clear, and those who are paying attention to what's going on out there and looking to be 3 laps ahead when the coast is clear. If you can get everybody else into pit row changing their tires while you figure out a way to keep motoring, you're going to be much farther ahead. Last year, you saw this slide from your keynote presenter, and the message was that what is going to be happening is the companies doing the high-end luxury stuff, especially at a consumer level, are going to struggle. The ones doing the inexpensive economy version stuff are going to do well, and if you see it coming, you're putting together economy bundles of stuff for folks. You're inventing services to help folks downgrade if that's what you need to do to keep them. We have seen Starbucks, of course, in dramatic crisis scenario. Their stock's down 50%. McDonald's is reporting 10 and 12% year-over-year sales increases. Walmart's sales are up 10%. Their stocks are zooming. So your speaker last year was 100% bang on in terms of what we're going to watch over those 12 months. I put David Jones in there because I was looking for a local high-end kind of thing, but here may be an interesting commentary. Despite the global truth of this, today David Jones has 52 job openings posted on its website. So they may be the exception to that rule, as Australia may be some exception. Let's have a look at just some big picture, because those of us here who have earned some of the gray hair, you know, we have been through this. And let me step back for a second and just make this comment. One of the things your management team should be doing, and one of the things you should be doing within your family social circle, is letting the people who are 12 and 18 and 25 years old, and maybe 30, know that we have been here before. I was talking to an all-employee group in a high-tech business in Canada a couple of months ago, and the headlines that day in their local newspaper were screaming that the unemployment rate in Canada is, you know, at 7.2%, and it might hit 7.6. It could even go to 7.8. And the 24-year-olds and the 26-year-olds are terrified. They think this would immediately mean the end of the world. Like I said, in 1982, it was 12.5. We've been here. We paid 18% mortgages. We've been here. We will come out of this too. There's going to be some bumps and bangs, and we're going to get bruised along the way. They need to know that the universe does not end if the Sydney property market drops 3%. And some of them don't. And what they're getting is the headline and the bombarding from the media and everything else. And of course, you know, the media loves nothing better than the world is ending story. But those of us in this room, not all of us, but I can look around and say, yeah, there are some of us. We went through the 70s mess. We went through the 80s mess. We went through the 90s, early 90s mess. We've been through this. And we will come back out of this as well. And I think that's an important conversation to be having. And when we come out of it, where are we going to be going? Let's look at some quick big picture stuff. This is the percentage of the world's population that is middle class by their living standards. From the 1820s through to now, we have just tipped over half the world. Here's China. Here's the income distribution at $4,000 a year. 4,000 US dollars a year is sort of a middle class threshold in China. And if you go back even to 1980, that threshold is that little tiny blue speck on the right-hand side of that thing. And look what's happened. There they are. That's not going away. That's not stopping. That's not getting reversed. Here's India's GDP growth. Look at this. They're zooming. They were almost looking as good as you guys for a while. But here's what's significant. This is their population age. Where do you think the market demand is going to go there? This is not complicated. These things will not go away. Here's car ownership per 1,000 eligible drivers. Look at India and China. They got some catching up to do. The BRIC countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and to my way of thinking, looking at this, all bets are off on Russia. Because the numbers don't tell the story. Not that the numbers are necessarily wrong, and I'm not suggesting they're right, but they don't tell the story in terms of Russia. But the rest of the BRIC economies, there's the significant piece. They're now buying as many cars as the U.S. is. We in Ontario, my province of Ontario in Canada, have made more cars than Michigan for the last 4 years. And are they going to be the same cars? No, they're not. Of course, they're going to be something different. Here's a little bit of the next going on. This is Tata's. They're a little $25 car.